Hello, this is Barney with Russell Real Estate, and today I wanted to go over a CoreLogic article that goes over the U.S. home price insights. This is posted in March, so it was posted yesterday, but really it's delayed information. So they talk about the information through January of 2023. So basically everything is a little over a month behind by the time they collect all of the data. So, as far as the home price insights for the national change, in January 2023, it says home prices nationwide, including distressed sales, increased year over year by 5.5% in January 2023 compared to January 2022. And on a month over month basis, home prices actually declined by 0.2% when comparing January 2023 to to December of 2022. So, as far as the forecast for prices nationally, they do actually forecast a slight decrease from January to February of 2023. But overall, on a year over year basis, February of 2023 to February 2022, they're projecting a 3.1% increase. So that is nationally. Again, real estate is hyper local, so I just want to make sure I keep reiterating that in every video that I talk about. But essentially, there were home price declines in 3 western states and in Washington, D.C. On a year over year basis from January 2023 to January 2022. There was one thing that I thought was actually interesting. So this chief economist for CoreLogic, Selma Hepp, I agreed with part of her statement here and disagreed elsewhere. So I'll read what she says first, and then I'll give my take on it. She said, while 2023 kicked off on a more optimistic note for the U.S. housing market, recent mortgage rate volatility highlights how much uncertainty remains. Nevertheless, the continued shortage of for-sale homes is likely to keep price declines modest, which are projected to top out at 3% from peak to trough. Home price depreciation and strong income growth are expected to boost affordability, which is particularly important for first-time homebuyers. This group has accounted for a higher share of mortgage applications since last summer, as first-time homebuyers don't need to surrender an extremely low mortgage rate like current homeowners. So I agree with most of what Selma says here. 2023 was very optimistic. We had 6 weeks in a row, basically, of interest rate declines, starting from basically it was the middle of November, maybe it was actually the first week in November, through the new year. And we actually saw interest rates on a national average drop from 7.37 for the 30-year fixed down to below 6.0%. So overall, interest rates were dropping. And as a result, I personally had the busiest January I've ever had in real estate. And I've asked I've asked other real estate professionals, both in my area in Northeast Ohio and also around the country. And everybody was echoing the same thing. For me, February slowed down a little bit the first couple of weeks, and then it picked up like crazy again in the second half of February. So I really am seeing the roller coaster ride that is the mortgage rate volatility, because when it spikes up, we see lower interest, and then it goes back down and we see high interest. So it's literally back and forth, back and forth. I will tell you, on all of my listings, I did get multiple offers. So I've had listings in Lakewood, in Fairview Park, Litchfield, Medina, and I feel like I'm missing one other one. But we had multiple offers in all of those areas. And that's just showing that even though um, purchase application for mortgages is down, I think I heard something that they're down like 40% year over year. Um, they are still more than enough to offset the lack of inventory or available houses for sale. And that's why I really, in our area in Northeast Ohio, she mentions keep that basically the shortage for sale homes is likely to keep price declines modest. We are not seeing price declines at this time. So as long as the home is priced decently well and it's in good shape or has good bones, we're still seeing prices at or above asking, which are at or above where they were last year. So that's something a little interesting to see. The part that I thought that I disagreed with was the home price depreciation and strong income growth are expected to boost affordability. Again, she says home price depreciation. I mean, at the very least, she should know it's not depreciation, it's deceleration, because she's still saying, according to their metrics, home prices are going up. They're still going to be up 3.1% year over year from February 2023 to February 2022 is their forecast, and they were up 5.5% January 2023 to January 2022. So, at the very least, she's using the incorrect terminology. That should be home price deceleration. But I truly, again, don't believe that we're going to have depreciation, at least not in our area, for this year. The other thing is the strong income growth. Yes, income has been, like the national economy actually has been stronger than anticipated, but the Federal Reserve is doing their best to try to limit inflation, and part of that is income increasing too much. So they don't want people to earn more money so they could spend more money on uh, other items then, because that's going to make the problem worse and make it harder for them to combat inflation. So a strong economy at this time with high inflation is actually going to force their hand a little more, in my opinion, to try to get that under control. So house prices are not depreciating, and income growth, I don't believe is going to be quite as strong. So realistically, affordability is still going to be about where it's at, and I don't think it's going to be a huge boost to affordability. So that's kind of my thought on her little statement there. Where again, I agree with some of it, but definitely disagree with other parts of it. As far as the home price index for national and state maps, you could see here, once again, Northeast Ohio, or Ohio in general, since they just break it down by state, increased 4 to 7% on a year over year change. The ironic part are the states that decreased. So you could actually see it says Idaho, Montana, Washington, and Washington, D.C. saw annual declines in home prices. So all of these other states that are not the three states listed here in Washington, D.C., they did see positive growth as far as home prices. It was just less than 2%. It's just that Idaho, Montana, and Washington, along with Washington, D.C., did actually see their home prices decline. So that's essentially what we're looking at right there. If you have any questions on the housing market, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to talk with you about that, especially if you're talking about the Northeast Ohio market. I primarily serve the Cleveland area, so if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks, and have a great day.